Ladies and gentlemen, Khaled Shatila, speech title, The Rock. The Rock, Khaled Shatila.
If you what emotional trauma is cooking? Yes, my friends, my fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, you heard that right. Unfortunately, that was the first time I unironically used The Rock's intro, like I usually do. As the title said, what emotional trauma is cooking? Well, ammonium nitrate was cooking for more than 6 years. That's what I'm gonna say. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 4th of August, 300 people died. And on the 4th of August, more than 30,000 homes were lost. And on the 4th of August, more than 442 kilometers of pure Lebanese soil died with it. This speech, as much as I wanted to do a happy speech, as much as I wanted to joke around with my research, as much as I wanted to be a Khaled in my speeches, unfortunately, even the government took that from me as well. Well, it's titled The Rock. Why? Because we are rocks for ourselves. If not us, then we definitely know rocks in our lives. What is emotional trauma? And how do we deal with it? What are the signs? How do we understand that we are facing something that is called emotional trauma? Well, it's quite simple. When you experience something that is extremely negative, something that would actually shatter your soul, something that would actually scar you for a whole while. You can heal, but most people heal, but there's a huge chunk of people that don't. Emotional trauma, as Michael Talbot Kelly, a professional psychiatrist, identifies it, is when a huge negative experience occurs to a human body. It can vary through 12 levels, from 1 to 12. I need more fingers. From 1 to 12, and 12 being the highest. It is safe to say that we, the Lebanese people, we encountered a level 14 emotional trauma. Yes, even with that, we broke scores. Not just the tabbouleh. The emotions that you may experience and you may feel overwhelmed by are anxiety, guilt, shame, remorse, sadness, fear, mood swings, anger, anguish, irritation, uneasiness, confusion, hopelessness, disconnection, and by the words of our favorite artist, Chester B, numb. These are only a small part of the emotions that we might face when we are traumatic emotionally. Yet that's not enough. That is not enough. Human beings are like a cup of water. As much as you fill them up, they will overflow. Yet these things that flowed out will flow back in. Other stuff. Emotional trauma doesn't always have to be psychiatric. It can also be physical. You can be fatigued. You can be tired all the time. Ever heard someone says I'm tired, constantly tired, the T word? There's a person that I really like called Patrick Bet-David. This person considers the T word, the word tired, as the dream crusher. And we Lebanese people, we don't just have our dreams crushed. We have our spirits and souls crushed as well. Fatigue, irritation, edginess, agitation, the constant fear of despair, insomnia, the lack of sleep. You can't even run away from your problems by sleeping. Even if you do sleep, you will be followed by nightmares. Or some people, they oversleep more than 12 hours per day. These are the feelings, the signs that you may acquire while having emotional trauma. These are the physical and the psychological signs of emotional trauma. Yet, as much as they don't seem like the right emotions to have, they certainly are the proper emotions to have. In the end, just like a computer, the input is like the output. We input trauma, we output negative feelings. That's the only natural way to explain it. It doesn't have to be wrong. It doesn't have to be bad. You know, it's okay not to be okay. Because why? Because we will have coping mechanisms. Things that we do in order to survive, in order to push ourselves for one more hour of working, to push ourselves for one more shovel to pick up, to push ourselves to do more. Coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms. Everyone has their own way to cope. It can be by crying, it can be by taking a long shower, it can be by ranting on Instagram all night. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I don't rant on Instagram, but I do rant on my friends. According to help.org and my personal opinions, there are certain ways to take in order to make sure that we are on the right track of emotional healing. Number one, you, my friend, need to identify the emotion that you are facing. What are you? Are you feeling angry, lonely, scared? Why? What's the whole reason why are you feeling that way? These are only the bits of emotions that you might feel. Identify what you're feeling. Is there any way you can help yourself by feeling that way? The second way to cope with the emotional trauma is by getting busy, is by doing things, is by doing whatever you could do to cope. You may go to sleep, you may overeat, you're totally allowed to break your diet, you're totally allowed to over-exercise at the gym or to under-exercise by not going at all. You can play video games, you can read a good book. These are all things that can help you deal with emotional trauma. 3, you need to volunteer. Have you ever seen a sad volunteer? I've been a scout for 8 years, and not to brag, but I helped in gymnasium. Yes, I was sad, I was heartbroken. But have you ever seen a volunteer that have lost a smile? You need to give. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, once said that you will never achieve righteousness until you give from what you love to give. It may be your time, your energy, your efforts. Yes, I am pulling a Bob Nasser. I see you, Tamara, and I'm going to keep talking. We are fragile human beings, and we are divided into physical aspects. Emotion, spiritual, and physical aspects. Our emotional aspects takes the whole toll. Because it's the only thing that keeps us together. It's the altico to a brick wall. Now to me, I'm gonna repeat it one more time. It's okay not to feel okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to not be okay for a very long time. And you know what's not okay? What's not okay is staying not okay while you have the means, even if you don't, by actually searching and looking up for the means to help yourself cope and survive. We are all broken. We are all shattered. We all lived through the 4th of August. I don't think that anyone has a time machine. It's fine. But is it really? Go do something to actually make it matter. Go help yourself. Because in the end, we, the Lebanese people, are the only people who will help ourselves. Happiness is a difficult choice to make. But we have to. Because in the end, if we don't, no one will take this choice upon us. Mr. Toastmaster.